welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing my last prom look of the year. I've done 2 prom looks so far, one being purple, one being a dramatic silver look, and this one's a little bit softer and simpler and way more easy to do than my other ones. You guys wanted something universal that everyone could wear and that would match with a bunch of different colors of dresses, and so this is it. This is what I came up with. I really like this makeup look. It's super soft and elegant and would look good on anyone. So anyways, thank you guys for giving suggestions for prom makeup looks, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Let's get into it. So I'm first going to start off with my eyes, and I will always suggest starting with your eyes before your face, just so you don't have to worry about having fallout in your foundation or your powder. I know a lot of people are not used to that, but I would just recommend trying it, because I always find that my foundation looks 100 times better than when I do it after my eyes. So first I'm taking the Born This Way concealer, and this is in the shade Very Fair. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and use it to prime my eyes. You can use an actual eyeshadow primer if you want, but honestly, concealer works just fine for me. Then I'm going to take a little bit of loose translucent powder. This is the one by Cover FX. It is quite spendy, so you can use whatever powder you're comfortable with, but I personally like to use loose powders better for setting my concealer. I just take some on a damp beauty blender, and then I'll pat that into the concealer before it starts to crease. Also, if you can't already tell, I did my brows before I started filming just to kind of get them out of the way. I used the NYX Microbrow pencil in Taupe and the ABH Clear Brow Gel. If you want to see a full brow tutorial, I always link it down below in my tutorials for a more in-depth description on how I do my brows. And next we're going to do something that I haven't done in probably literally a year, and that is use Scotch tape. So what I like to do is just take a little strip and put it on the back of my hand to take some of the adhesive off so it doesn't stick to your face that much. I line it up with my lower lash line and stick it right on there. Then I like to check to make sure they both look even and they're both going at the same angle. This is such an old trick that a lot of YouTubers used to use, and I don't really see anybody using it anymore as much. But it's a really good trick for especially beginners who aren't super confident in their eyeshadow skills. It really helps with making it look clean and crisp, and it just gets the job done, you know? So first I'm taking a transition shade, and this is by Makeup Geek. All the eyeshadows that I'm using today are Makeup Geek, and this is in the shade Friend Zone. It's a very cool toned grayish brownish color. And the brush that I'm using today for this is the Sigma tapered blending brush, the E40 brush. I use this all the time for blending my crease colors. And then taking this shade called Mirage, it's like a skin tone color. I'm just going to use it to blend out any harsh lines just on the very outer edge of this crease color. And then with the shade Americano, I'm going to take that on a Luxie 239 Precision Shader brush. Also another favorite, and I'm going to focus that lower on the upper lash line and also on the outer V. And going back in with that big fluffy brush and just blending out any harsh edges. Okay, and lastly, taking the shade Shimma and the Luxie 528 concealer brush. I'm going to put that on the inner half of my lid. on my inner corner and on my brow bone. So I want a little bit more shimmer on my lid. So I'm taking the shade Starry Eyed and just taking it on my finger and just placing that on the inner half of my lid. Okay, so once that's done, we're just going to take the tape off. Wow, beautiful. Then I'm going to curl my lashes and put on some mascara. And for mascara, I'm using the Tarte Lifted mascara. Then I'm going to put on some lashes. You totally can skip this step if you're not comfortable with wearing lashes. I personally always wore lashes to school dances just because it was my one opportunity to wear false lashes. And these are the Iris Beauty lashes in Empress. I'm sorry, I've been using these in like every tutorial, but they're my favorites and I just love them. So yeah. If you want to see how I put on my fake eyelashes as well, I have a full tutorial linked down below with all the details and stuff. So then after I'm done with my eyes, yes, that was it. I told you it was easy. I'm going to take the Pixi Makeup Melting Cleansing Cloths. These are my new favorite makeup wipes because they smell delicious and they take makeup off like a dream. I'm just going to wipe off any fallout so that my makeup or my foundation goes on smoothly. So today I'm going to be using a CC cream, and usually CC creams or BB creams are a little bit more dewy rather than matte. So I'm going to go in with a mattifying primer, and this is the NYX Angel Veil primer. It's like identical to the Hourglass Mineral Veil primer. It's very smoothing and very mattifying, but make sure that you shake it because sometimes it becomes separated, and once you squeeze it out, the liquid will come out first and it'll just really be gross. So you really don't need a lot of this. A little bit goes a long way. So today I'm going to try out this IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus cream, whatever that means. I have heard such good things about this. People seem to love it, so we're gonna see how it goes. It might be a little bit too light for me, but we'll make it work. And I'm also gonna be using this Tarte Kabuki brush. It doesn't have like a specific name on it, but this is literally one of the best brushes for buffing in foundation. It's so dense and so fluffy, and it just blends out everything beautifully. So you can use whatever foundation you're comfortable with, but a lot of you guys were saying that you wanted something a lot more simpler and a lot more natural. So I'm gonna use this, make it a lot more natural and less high coverage.
Let's be friends. You only need what's best for you and not them. Don't pretend. Now I don't wanna lose sleep thinking about everything we could be. Let's just see.
Okay, so this is definitely not full coverage, but that's what we were going for, right? Then I'm gonna take this Born This Way concealer again and just go underneath my eyes and on any red patches sticking through. I don't know why, but this area of my face is just really red today. I'm about to start my period, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know, you never can tell. I never know what's gonna happen when I'm starting my period. I just never know. I might break out in hives, I might get zits all over my face. You just never know. It's a really fun time.
You seem so rehearsed, but do you really care? I always feel like you're never aware. You're a part of me, but we're so apart. Where is your heart?
And then to set that concealer, I'm taking that Cover FX loose powder again. And I'm going to bake underneath my eyes to set any of that concealer before it creases. And also my smile lines. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm taking this Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Face Powder in Translucent. And I'm going to set that with this big fluffy brush from Flower. I don't like to set my whole face with the Cover FX powder because it's really expensive. I just like to set the important parts, you know? And then before I finish my face, I'm going to finish my lower lash line. So I'm going in with this transition color that we used before called Friend Zone on that same fluffy Luxie brush that we used before. I'm just going to run that along my lower lash line. And then with that shimmery color that we used on our lid, I'm just going to take that on my finger and put it right on the inner part of the lower lash line. And then with this nude eyeliner from Makeup Geek, this is in the color Nude, I'm going to run that along my lower lash line. And then I'm going to coat my lashes with some mascara. And then to warm up my face, I'm taking this Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. As you guys know, is my favorite bronzer. And I don't know if you can tell, but the CC cream was just a little bit too light for my fake tan. So I'm going to really need to buff this onto my face. And I'm using this brush by NYX, and it's the 02 brush. Then for blush, I'm using the LA Girl Just Blushing blush in Just Natural. I always feel so awkward saying that because there's so many blushes in the name. And I'm using this angled brush that came in the Vanity Planet palette brush set, which is one of my favorite bronzing and blushing brushes. Now for a highlight, I'm using this Wet n Wild Sweetest Bling. It's limited edition, so I don't know if it's still in stock, but Wet n Wild has some really good highlighting powders, and I'm sure there's a shade similar to this. I'm going to take this White Heart only, just because I don't want the pink highlighter. I just want this white shade. And I'm using a Sigma Powder Sweep F06 brush. Then I'm actually going to go in with the shade Shimma by Makeup Geek and use that as a highlight as well, just to amp it up a little bit. And lastly for lips, I'm using the Tarte Lip Architect, and this is in the shade Muse, or Muse, however you want to say it. And I'm going in with the liner side first. Then switching over to the lipstick side. Then I'm gonna spray my face with a little bit of the LA Girl Pro Setting Spray. So that is it for this makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You asked for something a little bit softer and simpler, so I gave it to you. I believe this look can probably go with every single dress out there. It is very simple, very neutral, and very universal for everybody. This is my last prom look of the year. I can't wait for next year. I love doing prom makeup looks. It brings back so many memories. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Thank you for watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.